Man, this is one of those first rides that I'm gonna be really regretful because I'm worried that after I ride this, I'm gonna realize that I need this thing. What's going on, guys? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell. In front of us, we have the gorgeous 2022 Ducati Street Fighter V2. I have never ridden a more beautiful motorcycle that I think I need to have. Today's first ride should be great. I can't wait to find out if this is the style motorcycle I need. That is my current MT10. It's a 2019. I love the look of this so much, though. It's making me feel like I might need to switch. So this is the first ride. Let's see what it looks like, and let's see what it sounds like. Alright guys, that's what this gorgeous motorcycle looks and sounds like. Now this video is not sponsored, but it is supported by WBRgarage.com, where we build dream bikes and give them away. And we're about to give away a red CBR 1000 that does kind of look like this. Here's what our CBR 1000 looks like. And then there's this. I'm super excited about the CBR 1000, but go over there if you guys want to win the motorcycles that we build. You can support it for as little as $5 a month, and it super helps the freaking channel out. Let's do it. Let's do the Street Fighter thing. I'm here for it. I've loved this bike since it came out. I actually loved the bike before they came out with this model. All right, guys, 2022 Ducati Street Fighter. Also, check it out. I've got overpants from Icon today. These are on top of regular pants that I'm just wearing. I don't typically like overpants, but we're trying them out. All right, we have modes here, and we have road, we have sport, and we have wet. We'll start out in red and we'll progress our way up, but let's look at the modes. We got wet, and there's all the modes for wet. And this is the engine power, ABS, Ducati traction control, wheelie control, engine and brake control, and quick shifter on. We can go to road, engine goes to medium, all the other settings change. And then we can go to sport. Guys, before we get going too far, if you are a fan of Discord, we have an awesome server for you. It is full of motorcycle enthusiasts just like yourself. So if you find yourself wanting to hang out on Discord with some people that like motorcycles, go check it out. There's a link in the description. We're gonna get up. We get the opportunity to go. Heck yeah. Oh, poor Street Fighter. I can tell you have, you're in wet mode. My goodness. You can tell so hard that this bike wants to just launch, and it's electronically being like, you're in wet mode, you can't. That's hilarious, actually. That's really funny. Alrighty, guys, we are here on the 2022 Ducati Street Fighter V2. What I honestly feel like is a phenomenal platform, and one of the best performance platforms if you want a naked street bike. If you're going to ask me, I think the V4 is just too much. But the V2 might just be just enough. What are you doing? Okay. That's the first ride. Let's talk about body position. So guys, as far as the seat goes, we've got a kind of a hard seat, but it feels really good. I'm able to move around on the seat. As far as my legs are poised up just a little bit. I'm leaned forward a little bit. My arms are kind of draped down. I have this like slight forwardness of a body position that I think fits the motorcycle really well. You know, the naked segment for motorcycles, when I think of nakeds, I'm thinking I want performance in a comfortable platform, and my body position is giving me that. I'm comfortable, but I'm slightly leaned forward, and I feel like I'm in a slight performance mindset that really mentally sets me up to ride this motorcycle like I would expect it to be ridden. We do have an up and down quick shifter that is working phenomenally. We love that. So guys, wet mode is great. I'm loving what wet mode is. It's very toned down, but that's what I want in wet mode. The thing is though, I don't want to ride in wet mode anymore. I keep saying wet mode. I'm going to go to road mode, engine medium, ABS 3, Ducati traction control 5, wheelie control 3, engine braking at 1. We're going to be in road mode because we're on the road and it ain't raining, fam. And also, this bike just, you can feel how tamed down it is in wet mode. Again, not a problem. I actually enjoy that. But as a guy who's testing it, I want to get this thing on the road. I want to feel what this bike's got. Alrighty, let's get this thing going in road mode. Let's see if there's much of a difference. I imagine there will be. Yes, there is. Oh, there is most definitely a difference. All right, we're toned down a little bit, but so much more of this bike is opened up now in road mode. Oh, now we're having a good time. Oh, wow, that feels so much better, man. Like, I'm happy about wet mode, but road mode's so good. All right, guys, so we're here on the road testing out the Street Fighter, which honestly is its stomping ground. This is where this bike should be amazing. It is more of a naked bike, but you guys know Ducati, they are kind of leaning more towards the performance side. I, as a guy who appreciates performance, I love this platform. I feel all the sportiness, but my back doesn't have to deal with the leaned overness. With the handlebars, I've got so much control of this motorcycle. It does come in at a weight of 444, and that's curb weight, but it does not feel that heavy. I feel like I have so much control over this machine. It feels so light, which makes it phenomenal for riding in these city streets where you're gonna have to weave around stuff. I also feel like I'm on a knife. Like I have such ability to control exactly what I want this bike to do and when I want it to do it. I'm shocked at the weight being 444 and it not feeling like this. The steering is so precise, at least at these low speeds. Now we're gonna get to the highway eventually in this video, but I don't know if it's the steering damper or the rake in the trail, but something is working out on this so well. And I'm already getting a vibe that I like the V2 more than I like the V4. I've ridden the Street Fighter V4, loved that motorcycle, but the V4 is just so much for the street. Whereas this thing I can get used to. Although I will note, there is no gas gauge. So, Ducati, where's my gas gauge? Like, the V4 has a gas gauge, I think. How the V2 not gonna have a gas gauge? I literally had low fuel before I started this first ride and I had to gas up with it. So in road mode, we're just kind of stuck in traffic here, and you know, I'm being careful with the throttle, but the bike is being super complacent. It's not hard to ride in this traffic. I still have nightmares of the Ducatis of old that were just, if you weren't riding them flat out, they did not feel good. And I just got to give props. Ducati has come such a far way of, I don't want to call their motorcycles rideable, but we'll call it streetable. Like, they're enjoyable to ride on the street now, and honestly, they didn't used to be. It wasn't too long ago that if I was riding a Ducati and I wasn't like giving it throttle, it would just be shaking all over the place. This thing is composed. If this Jeep would go, we could go. That would be great. We would love it. Sweet, thanks. I don't know how you balance when to put power down on different modes, but Ducati figured it out with the V2. It's got enough power down low to where if I don't want to be getting it and I'm just kind of stuck in traffic, I can comfortably be there. But the second I give it enough throttle, that power hits so well. And exactly like I want it to, just like grunty pull through the gear. It's so fun being on a performance machine in a naked platform. I don't know if anybody's done it better than Ducati with this Street Fighter V2. And there is something to say about the steering being as precise as it is. It gives me a confidence as a rider, like I know exactly what's gonna happen. So I can make moves that are precise and timed, and I know what to expect out of the motorcycle, so I'm not wondering. That power's gonna hit right where I expect it to. The buttons are where I want them to be. Like this might be the pinnacle of road machine, the Street Fighter V2 here. I'm really loving this motorcycle so far. It is so composed for the street. All right, guys, that's it for that street section. We are coming up on the highway very quickly, so I'm gonna hold that button in. We're gonna go to sport, which is that's all the beans. That's all 153 horsepower and 75 foot-pounds of torque. We got a 40 to 80 pull to do, and I imagine this one's gonna do it relatively quickly. Keep a note, we do have 29 miles on this machine, so if I don't give it 100% of the can of beans and I only give it like 85 to 90, just keep in mind, I could have done it quicker, but I didn't. You know, I'm trying to respect these beautiful pieces of art that we have here. All right. Oh, that's power band? Oh, we can't do power band start. All right, we're at 40. We're waiting. We're waiting. All right, guys, 40 to 80 pull. 2022 Street Fighter Ducati. Let's go on your mark and set. Oh, that's well past 80. Whoopsie! I may have done that on incident. I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going at all. I was just like, I'm having a great time. I really could have made a much faster time, but I didn't want to start a 40 to 80 pull on a bike that was already in the power band at 30 with only 30 miles on the clock. So that's my bad. Just know that this bike is capable of a much faster time than that. All right, guys, so we're here on the highway, which is probably one of the places you're not going to take a Street Fighter V2 at very often. First off, let's talk about the wind. The wind's all up on me. It's made a little better by my forward lean from the body position, but I am still getting a lot of wind on me. The thing about leaning forward is that I'm kind of leaned into the wind, so I don't mind it as much. But this is also a motorcycle that I wouldn't want to put a windshield on. So, you know, can it do highway? Yeah, sure. It's doing 6 gear, 88 at 5,700 RPM. Purring, and this thing redlines at 11, so I've got tons of RPM to go. If I wanted to shift down into what, 4th, I've got plenty of power to do a lot of illegal things here on the highway. Not gonna do that. One of the creature comforts that I don't have is cruise control. For a rider like myself, I do look for cruise control. I do really enjoy that. So that does suck that we don't have that here. But as far as maneuverability on the highway, that precise feel, I still have that. And even going at this speed with this wind, I still feel locked in with this bike. I still feel like I have full control of everything I do on it, which makes me feel like if I were to do like a track day or something, this thing would be more than capable. Especially on a track day, you're gonna be leaned down and stuff like that. You're not gonna worry about all this wind going on. I also am not getting a lot of vibration on the highway. I'm getting the tiniest bit in my feet, in my hands, just a micro movements at all. It's not a lot, but we're almost done with the highway, so I need to get over a couple lanes so we can get on that exit. Not a bad showing other than the wind, which is kind of obvious. We need to get in front of that dump truck. Let's see if we can. I mean, like, of course we can, but like, brakes are great. Engine braking is at really low. and it was not slowing me down at all. I was coming in hot to that. Woo! I want to take this to... Is it bad that I want a naked bike as a track bike? I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, the traffic's terrible, guys. I do think we got a better run for this turn on our camera car run. And, I mean, it's a Ducati. Regardless of the style of motorcycle it is, if it's a Ducati, it's going to be more performance-oriented. Bike felt great leaning it over. I knew that was going to happen. I was not surprised. But guys, before we get going, let's jump over to the camera car and see what those guys think about the Street Fighter V2. Thanks to our buddies over at Cardo.
Lots of love about a red Ducati. However, I wouldn't mind seeing a red frame and a white body instead.
I think this is probably the best looking Ducati, in my personal opinion. I love the SFs. This one is no different. Super purty.
Thank you guys in the camera car for your opinions. If you guys want to grab a Cardo unit, we got a discount link for you in the description. They are a sponsor of the channel, and we absolutely love using them. Thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the First Ride series. All right, guys, so we have a lot of power here. The V2 is putting out 153 horsepower with 75 foot-pounds of torque, which is nothing to scoff at. It is very punchy, torquey power down low. It does taper off at that upper end, but I love the way the power comes on. I'm keeping the thing in sport mode, which is kind of a shock. Around what is that? I was at about 5. I would say 5,500, you're gonna feel a big hit of torque. As far as street riding, it feels great. The bike does rev out quite a bit, like I said, up to 11,000. So you are going to get that fun of just revving your bike to hell, which I kind of feel like is an experience that you want out of a Ducati. But the level of power delivery, the gearing is phenomenal. It's fun for really pushing it, but it's also capable and composed going slower speeds where you're stuck in traffic. This is probably so far the best everyday riding Ducati I have personally ever ridden, and I want it. So let's talk about the transmission. We talked about the gearing is really good. Like, I can cruise in third and fourth, but if I want to really rev this bike out, the gearing is totally happy with that. Just for my own safety and sanity, I'm going to put myself back in road mode before I get a ticket. I would prefer not to do that on a first ride. The gearing is really good. The quick shifter, it might be perfected in the Street Fighter V2. We've got an up and down quick shifter. I get this kind of power pause when I hit the quick shifter. I get a tactile feel in my foot. My whole sensory is like, hey, you've shifted, and I love the way it feels. When I shift down, I get that same click. I get a whole body click. I don't know if that makes sense, but they've got the nuances down on the shifter that make it feel great. So for the braking, I'm going to give that a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. I feel like the brakes need to be bitten in a little more before I could really judge them. And right now, as I'm testing it, I wish they bit a little harder. Again, the bike has 37 miles on it, so the brakes probably the pads need to get worn in. I want this thing to be able to stop just as fast as it can accelerate. And it can, but I think there's room to get the braking a little stronger. Maybe I wanted to come on a little stronger and not have so much of that period where before the braking really starts slowing you down. I didn't touch on suspension back there. We flew through the road too fast. Suspension feels great so far. It feels like they have it set to a little harder here, but you have an adjustable suspension, so you can change it for your liking. If I'm going to be honest, the way the Street Fighter V2 feels, it kind of feels like it needs to be set to a little harder. If I were to buy this motorcycle, I would not adjust the suspension from what it is right now. One thing though, the rear brake pedal is a little small. There's a couple times I went for it and I didn't really find it, so might change out the rear brake lever. But I mean, these super tiny things though. This bike just falls into a corner so freaking easily. It's almost shocking. All right, guys, we were talking about the brake lever. Let's talk about the rest of the levers and all the controls. Starting with the levers, we'll talk about those. These levers feel absolutely top-notch, as you would expect from a $17,000, $18,000 Ducati. The levers feel great. They have a really good pull. I don't have any issues with the levers. They're adjustable, so you can adjust them to be as far away as you like. The grips, you guys know Ducati and Yamaha grips are some of my favorite. We got the very typical Ducati grips here. Love those. These mirrors aren't bad. I don't hate them. They could be better mirrors as far as like adjusting them. For me to have the mirror looking behind me, I have to get a lot of my side. So I got to chicken wing a little bit. But I feel like most people that pick up a Street Fighter V2 are probably going to swap those mirrors out. As far as the tack, the tack's pretty good. It's not their top-notch tack. If I was to say anything to Ducati, I would say, like, I love the tack, but I feel like it has some room for improvement. And that's only because Ducati have the top-level tacks. So I feel like I'm getting, like, a level 2 instead of a level 1 here. Which makes sense, right? This is not the Street Fighter V4. This does not cost $23,000. You shouldn't really expect, you know, a top-notch tack, but it would be nice. It's only one of those situations where I know what they have, so when I get something like this, I'm like, man, that's not your top-level stuff. I want that top-level stuff. The handlebar is in a great position. I love the stability and the control I have over this bike. What else can I say? Clutch feel. Let's do clutch. I haven't used it a lot, but I would say a lighter clutch. You know, like if 1 to 10, I'd give the clutch like a 3 as far as like how much weight it has. So if you like a slightly lighter clutch, probably gonna love this. I don't know what else I have to say. I freaking love this motorcycle and I'm sad that I don't own it. There's that. That is interesting. In 4th gear, kind of lugging the bike around, we are getting a little bit of vibration. More vibration than we were getting on the highway. It's not leading to anything bad, but it's there. I want to mention it to you guys. We can talk about the buttons. The buttons are very typical Ducati. You are getting high quality buttons. I've got no improvements that they can make on those. You know, Ducati's one of those brands, man, you're going to pay a lot of money, but you're going to get that fit and finish that you expect out of that money. These buttons are the same buttons that looks like they use on all of their models, and they are top notch. I got no problems with them. Just as a heat note, we have like a perfect weather day today. It's like not hot, it's not cold, and I can definitely feel the heat on my right leg and under my left butt cheek. We all know Ducatis do run pretty hot, which means they're a great winter bike, but if you are somewhere where the temperature is very hot, you may find yourself getting a little warm on a Street Fighter V2. Just as a note, I don't think it's hot enough to like tell you guys like, hey, you're gonna burn your ass on it, but it is gonna get a little warm. So if that's something you don't like on a motorcycle, you might want to look at something different. But guys, we're gonna come up here and pull off and do a little walk around of this motorcycle. This will be my favorite part. You guys have been getting to look at beautiful camera car footage. I have not. I just want to look at this thing. It may be my favorite looking motorcycle on the market right now, and I don't even think number 2 is close. So there's that. So let's pull off. Let's see what this thing looks like and all in its beauty. All right, Street Fighter V2. I get to get off of you and take a look. There we are, guys. The pinnacle of naked motorcycle, the Ducati Street Fighter V2. I don't think it gets better than this. I 100% don't. I know the V4 is a thing, but I think the V2 is the actual sweet spot. I don't think you need to go all the way to the V4. You get the single-sided swing arm. You get this tight, compact look. Fun fact, this bike is actually 3 pounds heavier than the V4. So if you want to pay $5,000 more to get 50 more horsepower and I think 20 more foot-pounds of torque, by all means, you get a better screen, I'll give you that. But as far as the looks, the head, the body, the tail, you get all of it for $5,000 cheaper. Why go more? There are some modifications that I would personally get on a Street Fighter V4. I would change the exhaust out, not for the sound, but just so I could change the look up a little bit. I would get a tail modification so we don't have this guy poking all the way out. And I would get some sort of radiator guard that kind of blacked it out. I've got that on my MT-10 and I love the look of that, and I think it would look really good there. But if you were to buy this and do nothing with it, it would still be such a gorgeous bike. Favorite bike on the market right now, looks-wise. I think everything is just absolutely peached out. So guys, I'm going to grab my phone real quick and take some photos for Instagram. If you're not following us, we are at Pics on Instagram, and we're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok. Go follow us over on those vertical platforms. I'm going to take some photos, and I'll be right back. Dude, if you own a Street Fighter and you're not taking photos of it every single day, what are you doing? Buy a Street Fighter and just post photos every day. I would like every single one of them. So guys, if you're watching this video, make sure to go over to Instagram and like those videos. And if you are new there, let us know that you're new and you came from this video. Alright guys, we got to figure out who this bike is for other than me. But first, we got to do a steering sim lock test. Oh, I don't know if this one's going to be great, boys. We might have a semi score, like a decent. Nope. Middle of the road, that means middle of the pack. So, not a great steering sim lock test, but that does not mean it is not an incredibly mobile and effective machine to move. I do not ramp that, Chase, do not ramp it. Going. Alright guys, so the Street Fighter V2. Is it odd that I'm like, this bike is for the economical rider who wants all of the fanciness of a Street Fighter V4, but wants to be cost effective and get this for $5,000 less? Never thought I would describe a Ducati as something that's cost effective, but I honestly think that. So far from riding the Street Fighter V2, I think that this is the number one most agile, most aggressive, most ride me hard please upright naked that I have ever ridden. I think it comes with the most perfect balance of weight and power. That doesn't mean it has the most weight to power, it means it has the best balance. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, Chase, if I have unlimited cash, I can get a V4 and it's got more power. Exactly. It's got too much power for that size and weight. This is the perfect package. If you are looking for, I feel like I say this with every Ducati, if you have the cash and you are Ducati strong, I think this is the best naked that Ducati makes. I think it's a better motorcycle than the V4. If I had unlimited money, I would buy the V2 over the V4. The only thing that would make me sad about it would be that my screen doesn't show the animation of the motorcycle, but I would get past that when I rode it every single day and I appreciated the perfect balance that this bike gives the rider. I absolutely love this bike. Obviously, you got to have the cash for it, and if you are in the market for a naked, I would say that you need to be naked wanting, but you have a lot of technical riding that you want to be doing with it. That is something that you need to take into consideration. If you want a naked and you're not going to be doing a lot of performance, you can get everything this motorcycle offers generally for a much cheaper price for one of the Japanese guys. You know, we've got the MT-09, the MT-09 SP, the MT-10, the Gixxus 1000 they just came out with. There's some phenomenal options for much better pricing, but if you're looking for that technical riding in a comfortable platform on a naked, and you got the cash, dude, this is your guy. Also, your Instagram page is going to get at least 100 more followers when you start posting dope photos of this thing. I have to end this video, but I'm sad. This is, I think I can say, this is currently my favorite Ducati. I don't feel crazy saying that. I feel very strong behind that statement. If I could own any Ducati, period, I'd buy this one. The looks, the performance, the characteristic of a ride that I'm looking for as a rider right now just hits it nail on the head. A Ducati golf clap in the chat. You did a phenomenal job. Now guys, before we get into this video, I do got to give a shout out to Mountain Motorsports. That's that dealership that I started at. Wouldn't be able to do first rides without those guys. And if you guys are going to get your next motorcycle at Mountain, I can give you a discount. There's a link in the description. Mountain's got plenty of locations up here in North Georgia. They have a massive inventory as well, so you can sit on tons of motorcycles. Go check them out in the description down below. Guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. You guys ride safe out there. Hit the like button if you found some info out of this video or you appreciate this video. You guys ride safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. All right, outro crew, make sure to put OC in your comment, because I know you're going to comment. Makes it so I know that you made it to the end of the video. And let me know, would you guys go with the V2 over the V4 because the balance is better? Or would you go for the V4 because you want the screen and you want the extra power? V2 versus V4, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.